All right. Welcome, Facebook family. It is 7:01, January 24th, 2024 on a Wednesdays. It is interview with Ann Boykin. So I'm very excited about this. And I wanted to do of course, some general housekeeping first. Very excited to have you on today, Ann. And,
Oh, I'm excited about it. This is fun.
awesome. Yeah, this is going to be fun. I want to save some of my compliments till we get a few more people on. So just hang tight. But definitely a big weekend in football. I know we're both football fans. I don't know. You like the NFL or you just college?
No, just college. I kind of left the NFL a year or two ago, but yeah, mostly college.
Okay. So Tamika's there. How you doing, Tamika? Of course, my wife is back over here again. I feel like I've been all alone for a few weeks. She's not been over there, but
Hey,
she's back.
Shondell.
Hey, Ann.
So I don't know if you can hear. Did you hear?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Good, good. So, anybody else on, please just put your name and just you can say what city you're from, or you can say you're having a great day. I'm just, it's, it's a great day for me. I'm super excited. I got so much going through my mind. Uh, it's a habit of mine to hold up the book, so I have to fight not to hold up this book because every time I bring a book, I never think about the reflection. I
That's
never
okay.
think about that.
It's okay. You can show it backwards.
So and this is a book. This is a hefty book.
It
This is a
is. Yeah.
so Tamika said hi. Can Miss Ann? Can you see the comments, Ann?
No, I can't. Well, let me go
Okay,
here.
I'll tell you what they
Now
say. You got
I
you
can see
got
it.
somebody here. Your
I
big
see
sister
it.
on here. Rick
Oh,
and her are there. How you doing, Rick and Karen?
I
It's
see
good to
Brenda,
see you.
Alec, and Shondell. Thank you for the compliment.
I should can see him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. You can see them. So I wanted to give it a few minutes before I get started, but like I said, I'm very excited about this. Uh, 15 to 20 minutes does not do this justice. I mean, my goodness, you can probably go a good 2.5, 3 hours,
Are
you
you
know,
hooked?
on this book. But what I want to do is just be, I always like to do my shout outs. Talk about what Elevate is. Elevate's a leadership company. We're doing basically one-on-one coaching. Shar does the coaching. I do the Wednesday broadcast, and that's it. Shar can change your world if you want to work with her. So I always tell people Elevate is an acronym: expectations, leadership, ethics, vision, attitude, temperaments, and effectiveness. Hey, we got Shirley Ford on. Good to see
Shirley
you.
Ford is a high school friend of ours.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Got my mom and dad on, got Mother Brenda on. Uh, she said, "Hey, Miss Ann," and I didn't know it, but at the time, but Mother Brenda's in the book too. I saw pictures of her in the
It
back,
is.
and
Yep.
there's a lot of great pictures in here too.
Thank
So
you.
my dad said hello, Ann.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do it because I do this all the time.
Dude, go for it. Well, no, it's not backwards.
It's not backwards. I don't know why that is.
No,
Let's see if my Astros. No, that's
that's
not backwards either. Okay. So I had to show that just because we're the
well,
Astros.
of
We
course.
win
Yeah.
championships out here. All
Yeah.
right. So anyway, very excited to be doing this interview. Char's right here, so I don't even have to. I told her, I said, man, she is an excellent writer. Did I not say that? I said she is an excellent writer. Um, I was like, man, you know, when you admire something, sometimes you can get a little jealous a little bit. Like I was like, dang, she just flows. It just flows. And I was telling Ann, I can picture everything you're saying when you're writing. I can picture you saying it. I mean, everything is just, I mean, it's awesome. You're an excellent writer. And
Well,
I'm sure
thank
you
you.
can write anything, and I had to start cutting down some of these questions because we don't have a whole bunch of time. But one of the questions I want to ask you in a few minutes is about your background. I want you to share that. But before we get to that, I want to do this just because my mind is all over the place. I wanted to make sure that I send shout outs to the four teams that are left in the NFL, the 49ers and the Detroit Lions. I never thought in my lifetime I would say Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship. But that just shows you what a great leader can do. Aunt Stephanie's on. And then the Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. So, I'm going to let it be known. I'm going for KC, but I think Ravens are going to win it. But I really want KC to win because I just like Mahomes and I like the whole storyline over there. I even like the fact that he's dating, what's the lady's name? Not the quarterback, but the receiver's dating the singer. And I can't think of her name. Taylor Swift.
Taylor
Yeah.
Swift, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just fun. It's just fun storyline. Every time he catches the ball or he catches a touchdown, the camera goes to her in the stands, and she got this big old Kool-Aid smile on. Like, and then next week we'll probably find out they broke up. That's how this stuff works.
Right, yeah.
It's fun right now. So, very excited about that. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to J. Michael.
Happy birthday, J. Michael.
His birthday. 24.
Mm-hmm.
He's 24 years old, and this is what he told me. I called him. I said, "Jermichael, I just want to wish you happy birthday." And I said, "Are you feeling old?" He says, "No. When I turn 25, that's when I'll feel old because I'll be 5 years from 30." I said, "Really?" And I was in a room. I was in a meeting. So in the room, it was me, another 51, 52-year-old, and a 65-year-old. We're in the room together. And I told everybody what he said. They're like, "Yeah, 25." I tease my guys and I say, when they're young like that, I tell them they still got placenta in the back of their ear, right behind their ear. So, but anyway, very, very excited for Jermichael. And this is a big month for birthdays. My mom's birthday, Jermichael's birthday, David's birthday, and then Joseph's birthday is coming in last. Who did I miss? Did I miss anybody? Markel, my cousin, his birthday. So this is probably the biggest month for us as far as birthdays. So January is a great month. So now we can get into it. I want to get into it real quick. We got 7:08. That means we get 21 minutes, 22 minutes to get into your book. But the interview of Ann Boykin, Ann has been our largest supporter. One of our, I feel like saying the largest. We got some loyal listeners here, but I mean, you've been a standout, you and your sister, and one of the first ones to come on board. Golly, it was almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And been very encouraging, especially for me in this platform. This is not my natural habitat. I'd rather be with the person next to me, talking to them, conversating with them, so I can see their body language. I can see if they're getting it or they're not getting it. This is foreign for me, and it still feels uncomfortable, even after all these episodes. I think we're on episode 120. So
you don't appear uncomfortable.
Oh, well, thank you. That means I fake it well. Because it's uncomfortable. So, of course, it was my wife's idea to do this, and I think it's been very beneficial for my own growth, just from a selfish standpoint. But and I definitely appreciate everybody because we've had, my parents, we've had Tamika, we had Mother Brenda, we've had I shouldn't start naming names, Aunt Stephanie. But we've had people that have been the core, and they've really been the core to this. So I never have to open up this computer and be talking to myself. So it's been I've been very fortunate. So, but I really wanted to start this interview because you put out a book, and we know that this book, we can see it now.
Yep.
This book, and I ordered some extra copies. And this book here has so many stories. I really, and it's really said it journeyed through my childhood, 1953 to 1963. But before we get deep in the book, can you tell everybody what your background is?
Well, I started out as a math and biology major in college, and ended up taking more math than biology because I didn't have a babysitter for biology labs. But very soon after leaving college and starting a family, I got interested in calligraphy. So when I lived in Austin from 1975 to 2004, I was involved in a calligraphy guild and was a professional calligrapher. It wasn't big money, but I loved it. It was great. It was a wonderful group of friends to associate with, and let me tell you, there is no pressure like going to a birthday party with a bunch of calligraphers, because everybody was going to make a one-of-a-kind card that was just over the top. It was true pressure. But anyway, once I moved back from Austin to College Station, I really could not do the calligraphy anymore. I have arthritis in my hands, and I became more interested in local history. And both my parents had written history books. My mother about the Italians who settled here in the late 1800s, including my great-grandparents, and my dad recording the history of his 814th tank destroyer battalion from World War II. So I was living with my parents at the time and hanging out with two writers. I mean, you got to produce. So, and I had been working on to get to here, starting right after our 25-year high school reunion. And I was just, I was sitting in the pool one day, and I was just thinking back on all the friends I've had all my life, and so many of them we grew up together, went, almost all through school with them, and we were still friends, and we were still getting together. And a little bit, we reminisce, but for the most part, we were friends as families, spouses and kids. We're checking up, what are the kids doing now? And a lot of our classmates are great grandparents. So it's been almost a lifelong search for me to record the stories and record my memories about this group. I always felt like I was on the outside looking in and just observing, and I have this ability to remember minute details and conversations, and sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not. But that's kind of where I came from, and writing this book, it took 31 years to finally get it out. I didn't work on it every day, but you know how it is with the creative spirit. You write when the spirit moves you, and when it doesn't, it's not a good day to write, because your writing is not going to flow. It's not going to be the same thing. And anyway, so that's where I'm coming from on the book.
Gotcha. So I remember, it said 31 years, and my first time reading that was on some of the information you sent me. I didn't know that it was 31 years.
Yeah.
Part of me felt better for the 25 or so years that I'm waiting on this book that I'm trying to write. I was like, well, shoot, if she could do it 31, I still got time. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Prior to this book, I had written, illustrated, and published 3 children's books. And I still, now that this one's finished, I have 5 more books in me. So I have to hang out and be around to finish those 5 books. So I've constantly got goals. I'm extremely proud and pleased that this book is out. And I'll tell any prospective reader that it's warts and all. I did not have time to send it out to be edited or have people look at it or whatever. There are mistakes all over it, and I want you to read it with a red pen and send me your edits. That's your job. But it was get it out now or else. And December 1st, it went live finally. And Amazon, for whatever reason, is taking forever to ship books. So you won't get it in 3 days even on Prime. You'll get it in 6 or 7 weeks, which is mad.
I ordered off of Prime.
You did? And how long?
Man, it was like 2 or 3 days.
You're kidding.
I ordered 3 books, and it took like 2 or 3 days. This is after you gave us a copy. So I ordered. It didn't take. I want to say it was 2 or 3 days tops.
Wow, I'm impressed. I may get you to order copies for me. I've ordered 10 more copies, and I ordered them December 27th, and they say they'll get them. I should get them by Valentine's Day.
So, any feedback from the family? Because there's a lot of family in this book. So,
well, I had asked my siblings and my son to write something, for the book, and I gave them free reign. As you can have as many pages as you want. You can write something, just congratulations on your book. You can write a memory or anything you want, and I didn't edit anything that they sent, and I think they're pretty pleased with the outcome. I did in part of the dedication. I dedicated it to my siblings, because they were an infinite amount of material for the book. Like it or not,
Right.
they're in there. And to my little brother Thomas, who's 12 years younger than I am, he swears there are only 3 pictures of him ever taken, and so I proved to him that's not true. We have a few more pictures than that. Yeah.
So I know we have your sister on right now.
Yeah.
And Karen, if you want to type something, I wish we could. If we were a big time operation, I would say camera number 3.
Yeah.
Karen. But right now we all we can do is hope that Karen is paying attention and can type something.
Right.
About the book. So, and then another question I have for you. So, what would you say was your biggest obstacle in finishing this book?
Oh gosh, what to include and what not to include, and there is a section there that I went to both my parents and my sister and several good friends to run it by them to see, what do you think? Should I put it in? Should I leave it out? It was a little bit of a revealing, passage. And I'm saying that now because now people are going to go buy the book so they can, thumb through and see if they can find that page. Like Catcher in the Rye, you got to read page 253. Something like that. But I got really encouraging comments from my parents about the passage. So that was my clue that, okay, if my parents can say, yeah, this is important, included in the book, then I did. And and also I have a lot of material in the book throughout about my exposure to African American people, and as a young kid, and then growing up, and desegregation in our area. And so I talked to Brenda, and I talked to a lot of my other African American friends about terminology, and I tend to use the terminology of the time. And
I saw that. I saw colored. I said I ain't seen that in about 40 years.
Yeah, and because I'm trying to tell the story and speak as I was at that age.
That time.
Yeah. And everybody was in agreement that, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It fit because you were talking about your the lady that helped clean the house at the time.
Yeah.
So it fit.
Yeah, Willie, Virginia, and my my grandmother's housekeeper, and I called her Colored Catherine because I had a real good friend in school who was white, but her name was Catherine too, and I needed to keep them straight. Right. So Colored Catherine was okay for me to call her Colored Catherine, and it was a kid thing. Kids are pretty blunt about stuff like that.
Right. So I wanted you to share this story that's hilarious to me, and we talked about it before we started. But you have a section that says why I pee in pools.
Yeah.
And the guy in me, I'm just a dude. You're gonna get me with a topic like that.
Yeah.
But this story, can you share this story? Because we got to give you time on this one because
I can tell a little bit about it. Yeah. I was in the pool. We had this house that had 5 levels, lots of steps and stairs and decks. And anyway, I was in the pool and I needed to go to the bathroom, and so I hauled myself out of the pool, and up 2 flights of stairs and finally into the house. And I'm in a hurry now, and I'm, go down the sunken living room, up across the tile, down 3 steps. And on the 3rd step, I slipped and fell, and my back went into a spasm and my foot shot out, and it caved into the wall. And so through the next, 20 minutes or more, I'm trying to crawl to the bathroom to still go to the bathroom, getting a wetsuit off and needing help because my back was in full spasm. And there was an intercom on the wall. And I thought, well, I'll call, my son. He was in the bathroom downstairs, so I couldn't go there. So anyway, I called my son. His line's busy. I call him again and finally get him. And I say, Thomas, it's your mother. I've fallen and I can't get up. Well, he just laughed, and the minute I said it, I realized how stupid that sounds, just like the commercial. And I was, started to laugh, and then my back, went into spasm again. Right. But I managed to get the suit off, managed to go to the bathroom, and then I crawled to the bedroom next door and tried to cover myself. Anyway, when I called Thomas, I said, I really needed help. And he said, well, I'll send April. And I said, well, April was his girlfriend and they hadn't been together all that long. I thought, no, I mean, I don't know April that well. And no, I don't have any clothes on. And April's yelling on the phone, just, I'm coming up there anyway. So anyway, I managed to pull the spread off, cover myself, and April comes in. And I have truly the ugliest feet in the world. I've had a lot of foot surgery and stuff. Anyway, April's looking at me and she says, well, what happened? And I said, well, I slipped on the stairs, my back's in spasm, and I think I broke some toes. Well, she's looking at my feet and she says, well, which foot? Because they all look bad. It's funny, but you can't laugh when you have a back spasm. So anyway, they managed to get me up 3 steps, down 3 steps, and into my son's jacked up Bronco. And they had to bring a footstool out, and he drove up right into the front yard, And of course, a jacked up Bronco is not the smoothest ride in the world to the hospital, but I was miserable. Anyway, finally get there, and the ER doctor comes in, and I tell him about my back, and he said, and something about your foot, and I said, yeah, I think I've broken some toes or something. And so he looks down at both my feet, and he says, well, which one? It's like, this is not funny, guys, But anyway, he starts saying, well, I can, we can give you something for your, for your back. And he said, now for your toes, he said, now I can give you a little bit of deadening in each toe. And then I can just pull and, put them back into place. And at that point, I'm just screaming obscenities, just pull the damn things, And so right. he did, and I'm, finally getting a little bit of relief. And my son, in the meantime, has called my husband at the office. Well, in his haste to get in the Suburban and get out of the parking garage, he rams the back end of the Suburban into a concrete pillar. Anyway, he just keeps on going, comes to the ER, and in his normal style, sits down to wait, for the doctor to come out, and immediately falls asleep. So anyway, I'm in a wheelchair. They're bringing me out. I'm okay to go home, and the doctor comes over to talk to, my son and my husband, and Thomas, hits his dad, says, Dad, wake up. The doctor wants to talk to you. So Tommy wakes up and immediately stands. Well, his leg had gone to sleep, so he falls and breaks his ankle.
Wow. They
haul him back, for x-rays and all this attention and everything. And I'm thinking, well, what about me? I hurt first, but anyway, it was just a total comedy of errors, and so he goes out with, crutches and a cast, and I've just got drugs. That's
right.
It.
Right.
But that's why
days.
Pools. I don't do that. There are 3 flights of stairs and down steps and all. It's hazardous. So yeah, that's why I pee in pools.
Right. So that story makes me really rethink some of my roughest days. I'm like, well, that day wasn't that bad.
Yeah, right.
So that's on page 246.
Okay.
So, I remember this one. So
all right.
246. So what is like when somebody reads your book, what do you want them to take away from the book?
I want them to think back on their own childhood and hope. I hope that they can remember, humorous things and bittersweet things, and just have good memories, of their growing up. We were very fortunate to grow up in College Station. I mean, we had the run of the place without much supervision, and we were safe. We did some horrible things on campus as kids, riding your bike down the halls of a academic building or something and get chased out by the professors. And we just thought it was great fun. And of course, everybody knew everybody else. And, if you were way out of line, they'd call your parents. So we couldn't get away with a whole lot. But, it was interesting without all the protective, layers that we have on kids now. Things that we did were just astonishing, now. But we used to watch the cadets practice riflery underneath Kyle Field, and they just put up some, hay and put the target on the hay, and they just, stand there, load the rifles and shoot. and there was no fence to keep us out of it. We were just right there at their elbows, watching. And, had they missed the hay and hit the concrete, they would have ricocheted, could have killed us. But we didn't think about that. Nobody else did. The instructors didn't. Nobody tried to keep us away. We were just there. We were just giggling, having fun. But yeah, we were pretty safe. And having the campus as a playground, I mean, it was our Disneyland. It was a great place to be. We were lucky. And that's where the title came from when I asked one of my high school friends to write an essay about what it was like growing up in College Station for us as kids. And so she goes through this whole essay, and at the very end, she said, I guess it was just something we had to go through to get to here. And when I read that, to get to here, I thought, that's it. That's my title. And later, when I was labeling files on my computer of the different chapters, I always started out with TGTH. Well, that's to get to here. And then I realized, well, shoot, TGTH, those are the initials we used from our two children anytime we were labeling something, because I gave my kids names that had the same initials, TAG and TAG, So when it came to label stuff, we labeled Tamara's things TA and labeled Thomas's things TH. So that made me feel even better about the title. It was very, meaningful to me.
Awesome. So I feel like this is a long time coming. We've been talking about this interview, and I'm glad that we got it out, and I'm glad you got the book done. How did you feel once you completed the book?
Oh gosh, tremendous relief. And I've been taking some time just for myself to, do nothing during the day or piddle or watch movies at night or whatever, just relax and enjoy the accomplishment. And now I'm just waiting to hear, what everybody has to say about it and what their favorite parts are. And hopefully they'll write some good reviews for me on Amazon. And
well, I'm going to write some reviews for you.
Well, good.
You tell me what you want. I'm going to write some reviews for you for sure. I got intimidated by the size of the book. I was like, whoa.
Well, this is the first time I've done a hardcover book, but it's 263 pages, and in a paperback that it just wouldn't hold together.
Right.
And I also wanted it to have 12-point type, so it wasn't so small that old people like me couldn't read it.
Right.
But it's a heavy book. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to, lie in bed and read it, holding it up. It's heavy.
Yeah, it's fun though. So I was, not that I had low expectations, but dang, it's like really good. I mean, you're a great writer.
Well, thank you.
I'm not a guy that just says stuff like that. I mean, I was thoroughly impressed, and I was like, man, I should have paid attention when I was getting my education. That's what my takeaway was.
Well, you're an avid reader, so I mean, I was really looking forward to your comments on it because you do read a lot.
Yeah, and I it's funny because my dad is on the line. He probably don't think I read enough. I remember one time he said, I read a book at a stoplight. I don't even know if he remembers saying that, but I remember in my mind I was like, stoplight, But I mean, I am like I probably read 5% of what he reads.
Yeah, wow.
So I just read RD's book. He sent it to me. So this has been and you guys, we did an interview with RD, and I know it's 7:30, but we did an interview with RD, and his book is 40 pages, but it's like he hits point. It's more of a leadership book, and he just
very meaty
text. He just wants to hit those points, and he's telling some little stories, and it was good too. So I'm like, man, maybe this is the sign. Maybe this is the sign that it's time for me to step up my game. So
go for it.
Yeah. So very excited. Glad we got this done. Glad that you were able to come in, and I love the stories. I mean, it's just a fun read.
Well, and you can pick it up and read any chapter. It doesn't have to be in sequence. There are 2 chapters on Billy Brady. You have to read those in sequence.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I really appreciate you coming on. I know it's 7:31.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I really appreciate that.
No problem. And remember our little saying, everybody, be intentional, focus on growth, and elevate now. You guys have a great one. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ann.
Thank you.
Karen and your family, everybody that's listening, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You guys have a good one.